The second part of what you alluded to is the decade after the GFC has been a lot harder because the market cap S&P has done 15% a year. And so if you just invest in the index and the index is just creaming everything else in the world, we did a paper recently this year called The Bear Market and Diversification. This basically is like, look, if you invested in anything other than the S&P or particularly these concentrated big names, you probably got steamrolled by the index, which, hey, look, that's nothing to be ashamed of because 15% a year is astonishing. But these type of returns on a 10-year basis have really only happened about 4 times in history. Traditionally, these periods are famous and they have names. And so whatever we end up calling this COVID meme stonk era in retrospect, we'll probably look back and be like, man, those were the good times. We're telling our grandkids about. We're like, you weren't around for the COVID meme stock. We did 15% a year in the stock market. Can you believe that?
Right. We had the roaring 20s, we had the dot-com 90s, we had the 2010s, and the Nifty 50.
The Nifty 50, which was in the 60s. Yeah.
None of them really ended well.
Well, that's the thing is like, you never know how long they're going to last. And then you also never know when it's going to end and how it's going to end. And so after the 1920s, you had the Great Depression, which was obviously a giant crash, right? When you think of crash, that is the definition. Stocks went down 80+%. When you think of the Nifty 50 period, that ended in the inflationary 70s, right? So you had a decade of really hard markets, bonds and interest rates went in well into the teens, really painful period for really any investment asset. The .com feels like more of I think a closer analogy to today, which is the market cap index had a monster run of performance where it ends up being that the concentrated names get to be the most expensive. Again, I don't think it's as nutty as 99. There was a period in 2021 that it felt like it was, in its own way, it was nuttier.
Right. It became a bit close, but we haven't approached 99.com levels.
Yeah. But you never know. So after 2022, I was like, okay, sanity's returning. We're having a cleansing moment. And then we've had a bit of this AI bounce. My guess, and this is kind of coffee happy hour talk, is that within the fullness of time, we'll look back and mark 2021 as the inflection point.